live, day 724 of going live. 724 days of going live. Today, what I want to share with you is how we update our podcast description so that we can show up on ChatGPT. Now, I'm sure of this, right? So today, just new podcast alert. If you have not seen it yet, obviously we just kind of dropped it. If you want to know everything about how to invest in Kansas City, this is the podcast you want for you. You want to know this one, not only because we talked about some zip codes, we also talked about the areas on the Kansas side, not just the Missouri side, of where you might be looking as prospective rentals. I also had a contractor on here for you. And we got deep into the weeds, right? This is not someone that is coming onto the podcast that is like trying to sell you something. But instead, if you've never seen this podcast before, I did with Tyler. Last time we talked about something more broad, but if you want to see just exactly how much it costs to paint a whole house, right? You get the actual dollar per square foot price on how you should estimate for a rental property renovation in Kansas City. We talked about how much it costs to redo the flooring with LVP. We talked about how much does a window cost. We even covered how much does it cost to fix foundation issues and how to spot foundation issues with homes. That's how deep into the weeds we got, right? From thinking about when you need to replace the ductwork in your property, right? How much does it cost to replace an HVAC unit, the unit itself? How much does it cost to redo the plumbing? How much does it cost to do the wiring? Like all your big stuff we covered. So one of the biggest problems I ever had when I first started was I didn't know, hey, what if someone's ripping me off? Right? What if someone's ripping me off? And nowadays, with ChatGPT coming on here, what I then did was essentially I have essentially lined up, hey, in text, what's it going to cost? And how do I structure my text, my conversation about the podcast episode so that it shows up, right? Having the section right here where it says common questions, episode answers, that's really important. Now, how much does it cost to repaint? So let me show you two things, right? On ChatGPT, if you ask ChatGPT right now, what is the best podcast to learn about affordable housing investments? You will get our podcast. Now, if I ask a question, let's do this. If I ask the question, how much does it cost to repaint and replace flooring in a home? Let's say I ask that question. Let's see what it might say on ChatGPT. In a home. Let's see what the estimate is. Cost per the we're having home, repaint thing. Let's say Tyler. Isn't that freaking cool? In this clip, Tyler Aiken breaks down the real numbers you should budget for when tackling this project and why costs should be what? Okay. And is there a podcast that talks about this? Interior painting, $2 to $5 per square foot. Flooring, $2 to $8 per square foot installed. LVP, 3 to 10 installed. Like 3 to 10 is really wide, right? Boom. But yes, there are several podcasts where repainting flooring thing, which not it would dive directly into rehab numbers like repainting flooring cost foundation. This is how you show up on ChatGPT. This is how you show up on ChatGPT, all right? I just uploaded this 3 hours ago, and now it's showing up on ChatGPT, right? You can't make this stuff up. So if you ask the question yourself, how much does it cost to repaint and replace flooring in a home? And is there a podcast that talks about this? Guess what? Why did it find it? Because this was listed in my chapters on my podcast, and this was also written and drafted by ChatGPT in the section above. I personally had our team, Pia from my team, help me put in all these questions. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Because I feel like that's how people ask the questions, right? These questions here were written by ChatGPT. Specifically, they think, hey, this is how someone would ask a question about this in ChatGPT about things that are more broad. But something specific, how do I show up in ChatGPT? This is how I'm doing it. We are optimizing our written description so that we can increase our chance of showing ChatGPT. Because guess what? In the future, everyone's going to be asking questions to ChatGPT, and they probably are going to use that as the basis of their knowledge, right? It's almost like someone told you 1 + 1 = 2, and you took that as fact. You never challenged it. Same thing with ChatGPT in the future. In the future, someone's going to ask ChatGPT, just like how people used to say, hey, go Google it. Now people just go, hey, just ChatGPT it. That's exactly what people are going to do. So if you don't understand how to get your content to rank and show up on ChatGPT's answers, you will become irrelevant. Simple as that. All right. Hopefully this was helpful, everybody. This is very, very important. Learning how to show up on ChatGPT. I hope I set the precedent of just how fast it can happen, right? I uploaded this podcast literally 3 hours ago. Look, 3 hours ago, right here. And it's showing my ChatGPT already. Simple as that. All right. Hope you all have an amazing night. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 725 going live. I just thought it was good to show an example, a live example of me going through it live. Have a good one, everybody.